Now let's record the next transaction. So this transaction is related to a bank transaction. So whenever you record a bank deposit transaction or bank withdrawal transaction, we use a voucher called contra. So how do we use that voucher? Let's find out. Press the F4 key to open contra voucher. So this voucher is specifically used for recording bank related transactions. So whenever you want to record bank deposit or withdrawals, we can use this voucher. So to record this entry, we will first set the transaction date, which is 12th of November, and credit the cash account by rupees 10,000. Now press the enter key and debit the bank account. Since bank account ledger doesn't exist, so we need to create one. So press Alt C and create the bank ledger. I have entered all the required details to create this ledger, and I'll press Ctrl A to create the ledger. The amount in the debit field will be pre-filled, and press the enter key. So you will be provided with a screen called bank allocations. So what this screen is used for will be explained in the banking section. Now press the enter key again. The screen for cash denominations will be appeared. So here you need to provide the information regarding the denomination which you have deposited. So suppose if I have deposited 10 notes of rupees 500 and 50 notes of rupees 100. So I can enter that information over here and save those details by pressing Ctrl A, and further save the bank allocation screen by pressing Ctrl A, and save the entry as well. So this is how you record bank payments using contra voucher. You can record the same entry using the payment voucher. So press the F5 key. Over here press the F12 key and enable the option use payment receipt as contra voucher to yes to record bank related entries, and press Ctrl A to save those settings. So if I want to record the same entry, then I can do it by debiting the bank account and crediting the cash account. So it is a common practice to record bank payments and bank withdrawals using the payment and receipt vouchers respectively. Now let's proceed to record the next transaction. It is a purchase returns transaction. So let's see how do we record this in Tally. To record purchase returns and sales returns in Tally, we need to enable few options in Tally. To do so, press the F11 key and change the option use debit and credit notes to yes, and press Ctrl A to save those settings. Now to record purchase returns, press Ctrl F9. So this will open the debit note voucher. Enter the voucher entry date, which is 15th of December, and press enter. In the field original invoice number, enter the invoice number of the purchase against which you are returning the goods. So the invoice number over here is 101, and the date of the invoice was 7th of September 2019. Now debit the supplier's account by rupees 1000. The bill wise details screen will show up. So earlier when we created the reference for the purchase which we made, so those purchases will be displayed over here. So we need to select the purchase invoice against which we are making this return. So select the option against reference and select the bill against which you are making the return. So right now we only have one bill because we just recorded only one purchase entry. So in real world there could be more than one invoice listed over here which you can select. So let me just select this bill and press Ctrl A to select the details and credit purchase returns account. Now press Ctrl A to skip this step and save the entry. So this is how you record purchase returns in Tally. Now let's record the next transaction, which is a sales returns transaction. To record sales returns, press Ctrl F8. The screen for credit note voucher will appear. Change the date of the voucher entry date, which is 18th of January 2020. The invoice number against which the buyer has returned goods is number 2, and the date of the supply was 11th of October 2019. Now credit the buyer's account by rupees 500 and select the bill against which the buyer has returned the goods and debit sales returns. Skip this step and press Ctrl A to save the entry. Now let's record the next transaction, which is a payment transaction. So we are making a payment to the supplier against bill number 101. So let's see how do we record this entry. To record the payment entry, we use the payment voucher. So press the F5 key. Change the date of the voucher entry, which is 12th of February 2020, and debit the supplier's account by rupees 2000. So again we are making the payment against the bill number 101. So you can see that Tally has been updating the amount information. So earlier the bill amount for this invoice was rupees 3000, out of which 1000 worth of goods were returned. So the net balance which is liable to be paid is rupees 2000, which is calculated by Tally. So select the bill against which we are making the payment. So there could be more than one bill present over here, so you need to select the appropriate invoice towards which you are making the payment. So I'll select this bill and I will credit my cash account because I am paying the amount in cash, and press Ctrl A to save the entry. So alright, so we are done with most of the entries, and I guess we are left with only one entry, which is the closing stock entry. So at the end of the year the closing stock was valued at rupees 15,000. So we need to update this information in our books. So to do so, open the profit and loss account statement and press Alt F1 to expand the details. So over here on the right hand side you would be able to see the closing stock information over here. So this information is not yet updated. So it is showing the same amount of rupees 40,000 which was entered as the opening stock. So to change this information, navigate to the field opening stock and press enter, and over here navigate to the field closing balance and enter the date as the last day of the financial year, and enter the closing stock amount and press enter and press Ctrl A to save the information. So sometimes you may not be able to see the closing stock information. That is because if you notice the date range, you can see that the profit and loss statement is showing information which is up to 12th of February 2020. So press the F2 key and change the period to 1st of April 2019 to 31st of March 2020 and press enter. Okay, so now you will be able to see the closing stock information over here. So that was all about recording various entries. The objective of this section was to make you aware with the Tally's environment with respect to recording entries. In the next section, we will start to maintain stock information. We will learn how to create stock items and record purchase and sales in item invoice mode.